How fitting it is to have the minister at the table, my old foe and friend from GST days, and how the roles reversed, how the worm turns, and hopefully it will turn again. I will remember that. I now remember. Well, remember. He's a good man. This one. He's a good man. Standing right here, he came to this place every day and asked question after question on the GST. Questions about how much is a bag of salad going to cost, and he brought in a bag of salad. How much are hockey bear pyjamas going to cost, and he brought in the hockey bear pyjamas. And how much is this can of food going to cost? How much is a bottle of Coke going to cost? Oh, I remember those days, and the lessons have been learned.
Andrew Robb, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Barry.
Joe Hockey's right, isn't it? The Coalition learnt the art of a good scare campaign from Labor.
This is not a scare campaign. I mean, the facts are scary, I suppose. That's the bottom line. And I think it's added to by the fact that they have really made no attempt to explain a lot of the detail and what they really want to do. We saw it again this morning on another channel. Wayne Swan spent 20 minutes ducking and weaving. All of this is creating confusion.
But they haven't taken decisions. That's why they're not making announcements.
Well, they have taken a decision. They're going they're going to bring in a huge tax from next July. And if we know what the base has to be, because the Greens rejected their emissions trading scheme at $25 a tonne because it went nowhere near dealing with what they saw to be the challenge. So presumably they can't start lower than that. But we do know once that tax is in, it's only going one way, and that's up. And it's going to cost, people in their pocket, electricity, food, petrol, you name it, all going up.
But are we seeing this a rerun of the GST in this sense as well, that Labor really allowed the Coalition to do all the heavy political lifting on a GST, and then when it came in, they embraced it? Is the same thing likely to happen here, that in the end the Coalition will adopt some sort of market-based mechanism?
No, we have said categorically, if they bring in this tax, which they're now saying they will, and they will have the numbers clearly after July in the Senate, if they bring in the tax, we will scrap it. Now, that's a cast-iron commitment. The thing is, Barry, that as Garno has said, Penny Wong has said in the past, so many of the Labor luminaries have said in the past, that if Australia goes it alone on a price of carbon, then we only do ourselves a damage. There's no environmental gain because our industries, a lot of our industries, will move offshore. The emissions will still go up into the atmosphere. So there's no environmental gain, and what we do is we lose jobs, we export emissions. So they've said in the past this is nonsense to go it alone, be out there with a tax when no one else is. And the US, Japan, China, again showing absolutely no sign of moving on a price on carbon.
But when you say that you will scrap that, and the ETS, of course, yet Malcolm Turnbull still supports an ETS, and he confirmed that again this week. Is that a problem for the Coalition?
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because, Barry, in any party, there's no one in our party, and I suspect in the Labor Party, who agrees with 100% of the party's position on every issue. Right? So you do have issues that you disagree with your party, but overwhelmingly you are on song. So, and you do accept, if you're part of a party, to take and prosecute the policy position of the party.
Yeah, but here's a frontbencher. And again, this week he said he supports an ETS. Does he need to recant on an ETS?
What he did say was that they haven't provided any detail as yet, that really the only party with a policy at the moment that people can understand, can cost, can see the outcome of, is the Coalition. Now, that is totally consistent with what we've been saying as a party.
But he still supports an ETS, and as a frontbencher, is that a problem for the party?
Well, there may be one or two others who support an ETS, but that's what I'm saying to you is that Malcolm and the rest of the front bench and the party will support the position we've got, because it's The position we've got, we feel, is in the interest of Australia, right? We're not. This is a big decision. This is why there's been so much, I think, activity and heat this week and the last 2 weeks, is because this is a big issue. This is not two sides of politics just playing the game. We've had 150 years of cheap electricity. It's really been underpinned much of the quality of life that we enjoy. Now there's going to be a huge structural change, one of the biggest, and that's going to challenge a lot of the great strengths we had, that low price of electricity. It's going to remove our coal industry ultimately from Australia if they get their way. So these are really big issues. There should be heat, there should be debate, there should be clarity about what's happening.
Well, can I just one more question though on Malcolm Turnbull? Is that because he still maintains that stance? Is that an insurmountable hurdle to any ambitions that he might have to ever again lead the Liberal Party?
Look, you know, there's probably 70 got ambitions to lead the Liberal Party. I mean, people come in with ambitions, and Malcolm is no different to so many others. It hasn't hindered us providing 11 years of good government. Peter Costello had great ambitions. It didn't stop him being the greatest treasurer in Australia's history. So, you know, it's sort of academic to be discussing individuals' ambitions and what it will do. I don't think it will stand in the way of us performing in government well and Malcolm performing well.
Well, he was asked this week to name one economist who supports Tony Abbott's direct action plan, and he couldn't. Can you name one economist who supports it?
Yes, Greg Evans from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Danny Price has said that our direct action program is far superior to what Labor has put on the table, both past and present. Danny Price is
didn't he contact you at one stage and say, don't say that I support it?
What I said to you is that he has said that our program, as it stands, is far superior to the emissions trading scheme that the government sought to bring in
but he doesn't
a year
support
ago.
It.
Well, he supports it. He sees it as preferable to what Labor has put up to date. He thinks there are other ways that he would ultimately prefer, but he's saying what's on the table, ours is preferable to Labor's. So he's one of Australia's most prominent economists.
Wayne Swan quoted your position this morning on television. You said that the most efficient and effective way of managing emissions reduction is through a market mechanism. Is that still your position?
Well, our direct action plan is a market mechanism.
In what way is it?
In the sense that we will say to different sectors, if you bid, we'll ask farmers to bid, we'll ask those within the large construction industry to bid for assistance if they can reduce the price, that they can reduce certain tonnages of carbon in their sector. So in other words, the lowest, if someone comes in and says, I can reduce 1,000 tonnes of carbon at $7 a tonne, the next one $8 a tonne, we put up a tender, if you like, and the one that can reduce the carbon at least cost, market-based systems, tender system, they will get the assistance. Now that is a system that has worked very effectively in New South Wales and around the world, in different parts of the world on different commodities. It is market-based, right? So there's not just one market-based system.
There was a time when you actually considered a carbon tax.
What do you mean, the coalition?
Yes, the coalition.
Yes, we've looked at all.
And you were open-minded about it. In fact, you were asked about it once, and you said, "Well, it's been looked at around the world.